Hey Les Mills teachers, welcome back to Sally's Sweet Life. I'm your host Sally, and today I'm going to be your teacher mentor, and we're talking all things team teaching, launches, and a little bit of shadowing. Do you love it as well? Me too. But before we get right into the content, I just do want to invite you to subscribe to my channel, just so that the next time if I upload anything that's going to enhance your teaching experience, you'll know all about it and you'll be notified. So yes, team teaching, I love it. It's so much fun. And you know what? I think all the participants in the club really like it as well. Why? Because it's kind of different. It's a big hyped up event. And I want to give you some great tips and little things to look out for so that you and your team just absolutely nail it there on stage. And your participants are itching and they simply can't wait for the next event to happen in your facility or your club. Let's get into this. Little bit of vocabulary I need to sort out in the beginning. So when I'm talking about all of this, I want you to, I'm going to use two words, okay? Two descriptions. You know how when the actual teaching event happens, normally it's one teacher who takes care of that one class, okay? I'm going to refer to that teacher whose class it normally is as the slot teacher, because everyone else is kind of a guest, all right? So there's a guest teacher who's team teaching as well, but then there's the slot teacher. So we've got that organized? All right, yeah, good. So we start with, as soon as you can, organize your track allocation. And really, this is about your slot teacher. You want to get those tracks early as you can, so you've got lots of time to prepare. That's one. But in terms of teacher etiquette, okay, and courtesy, because there is a little bit of that going on, I really think that the allocation of the tracks needs to come from the slot teacher, okay, because it's their class. You're a guest, the participants are a guest. Let them decide what tracks, who's going to take each track. It's much easier. Hi, Luna. So if that's you and you're the slot teacher, divvy out the tracks quickly so that your whole team are starting to learn them and starting to familiarize themselves with all of the different components in that whole release, if you're releasing a new release, to speak, yeah. Because it's the slot teacher's normal class, they really are the host of this whole thing. So if it's not you, give them a buzz and say, hey, I'm going to be your teaching buddy. You choose your tracks and then just let me know which ones are mine. But you can choose first, that's cool. Let them do that. Because they really want to get their head around the ones that are probably more confident to them. Maybe they don't care. Maybe they're like, oh, I'll just take the first half and you take the second half, whatever. But let it come from them, just from courtesy. Also, I generally think, and this is from a participant's point of view, is that I think it's better if the slot teacher starts the class and finishes the class. That way they get to introduce you as a guest teacher, they get to welcome all of the participants, and then at the end they get to thank the participants for coming and also thank you as the teacher. They're hosting, so just let them do that. That's cool. Also, because they're hosting, they need to bring the music. They should be the ones to bring the music device in a one simple push play and go playlist, no fuss, okay? So leave that to them. If you're not the slot teacher, you can just arrive, be awesome, and help set up for your class or pack away for your class. And that also means if there's a class before your team teaching event, help pack away, get it all happening for them so that the slot teacher can come in, deal with the music, deal with the mic situation, and you're setting up all of the equipment in and around them. And also at the end, packing away or either setting up for the next class. Be there as a support. And you know what? That word support is a perfect word if you're not the slot teacher, because you're there to support the slot teacher, you're there to support the program, and you're there to support that class as a whole. Okay, so slot teacher rules and let them do their thing and just work around it. When you've got your tracks and you know what they are prior to going to the class, learn your tracks first. And then get your head around the rest of the release, okay? Without a doubt, you need to learn the entire release. Without a doubt, this has to happen. There are 3 crucial reasons why. Number 1, let's face it, you're going to have to learn your whole release anyway, so you may as well do it now. That's not that important, but anyway. Number 2 is really important, and this is about maybe for some reason your other teacher, there's just 2 of you, can't make it to the class and it's a last minute cancel. Guess who's responsible for teaching the whole release and taking care of that whole class event? You, that's right. So you want to be receiving that information. Oh my God, I can't come. Yeah, you're like, yeah, that's cool, don't worry, I'll take care of it. Look after you. You don't want to be like, holy crap, oh my God, I don't know, I have to try and learn it. There's just a couple of hours. Now, that's not going to work out for anybody, and it's certainly not going to be a great experience for your class participants. So, just do all of the preparation beforehand and learn the entire release. The third great thing about doing that is that you get to cement your choreographed learning, your take on how you've learnt it during the class. What I mean by that is, yes, you've learnt your tracks. You might have semi-learnt the other tracks that the other teachers are teaching, but while they're teaching it, it's like, oh yeah, I know this bit. Oh, they've done that differently. I'm going to have to check my choreography notes. Maybe I've downloaded it differently. I haven't got it right, or maybe they haven't got it right. You can talk about that later. But that's a great cementing choreography situation right there. All right. When you've learned everything, or as you're learning your tracks, make sure you have a little notepad and you're jotting down some ideas and some questions and queries for the event. Because when you want to know in advance how you're going to teach that, given that given the size of the stage, and you're going to do mic changes, and you need to think about stage positions and options. There's lots for us to think about, right? So have a little notepad down there so you can talk about that with the other instructors a little bit later on. With stage positions, remember back in module training when you were learning that first release and you were practicing and you did the shadowing thing? Do you remember how, and I know when I was a trainer, I would talk about the role of the shadow on stage, and they are to support the teacher, we talked about that, but also to mimic them. So you can't do that if you're in front of them. Do you remember this stuff? And you can't do it if you're right next to them either. So just be a little bit behind them so you can see the teacher easily, and you're still addressing the whole class with your presence as well. There's so much that we have to do on that stage, it's incredible. But make sure you're behind them, so if they get it wrong, and this happens a lot, you might be intimidating them with your presence there, and they might get things wrong. I think it's happened to all of us. So then you can follow that in. We'll talk a little bit about that later on as well. Also with stage positions, think about, is it going to, because there's 2 of you or maybe even more, who's going to do what? Are you going to teach front on? Are you going to teach just one side on? Use the other people and use them for options as well, and figure out who's doing what. Generally, I tend to go with whoever is teaching and has the mic on and who's teaching that track. They generally, I think, need to be teaching at an option that is midway or higher. You know, because sometimes there's a midway option, a higher option, and a lower option. Get them doing the midway and the higher. You don't want, if you're teaching, you shouldn't be doing the lower option. Why? Because your whole class are watching specifically the person with the microphone. They're only fleetingly looking at other people on the stage. So what you're wanting to deliver is a standard norm, and we want to be pushing and challenge them into higher options. Yes, lower options are there just if they need it, okay? If they've got issues or if they're new, that's cool. Other teachers can handle that. But if you're the one with the mic and you're teaching that track, don't do lower options. If for injuries or whatever, you're not able to do that, you have to go to the lower option, flick off that track, give it to somebody else. Because it's about the participants and their experience, and are you delivering something that's easy and challenging and all of that stuff. So yeah, think about that while you're learning your track and you're making a few notes. Yes. I also wanted to talk about mic changes. So microphone changes if, thank God, you're in a facility that has a microphone. Yes. Do you have 2 microphones? Yes, that's awesome. You can both have microphones and it's an easy transition. Because mic changes on team teaching events, they really want to be seamless. And by seamless, I mean that participants don't even see it. So think about perfect situations when you can change the mic and change the focus for your participants from one to the other. One thing that should never happen is that you never stop the music to mic change. No, keep the music going. Well, obviously unless the program, like a body pump class, they require you to stop it so you can stretch and stuff. But if it's a push play and go program, you stick to that. Push play, go, deal with everything else. Just grab the mic. You can still start teaching without actually doing it before as getting them all set up. So just watch that. Try and make it seamless. Think about those sorts of things before you hit the stage. Hey, when you're shadowing and you're not teaching, and remember you're a little bit back, pay particular attention to what's going on your face, right? Do you look like you're enjoying the class, or are you just like this blank face? For those of us who teach programs who have Kylie Gates as a presenter on the training videos, yay for us. I want you to have a look at Kylie, because she has beautifully trained herself to smile all the way through. And if she's not smiling, she is reflecting an emotion that reflects an intensity of that program, of that exercise or anything like that. If she's not like really finding it hard to lift the weights or crunch or whatever, she is smiling like a champion because she has this stage presence. Now, if you're not thinking about smiling and you're not already in the habit of doing that, I can guarantee you're just going to have this blank face going on. So just be careful. You're on a stage. It's a show. So think about how you look with your face. And actually, I'm just going to jump into the next one, which is have a look about what you're wearing as well. And you want to be completely united in how you look with your team. You want to be united in the energy that's on that stage and united in the moves. So when we're talking about clothes, you want to have clothes that, first of all, reflect the essence of the program. That's just a given. Sometimes we dress up, do you? Sometimes we do these dress up things for team teaching, which is really fun. But I want you to watch out that whatever outfit you get into, it doesn't deteriorate from your teaching quality and your technique. That's really important. I've seen some instructors just get way too carried away with the costume, and it doesn't fit with the essence of the program. Make them small little things so that you can still work around them but still have that reflection of fun. When I'm talking about uniting with moves for the team teaching, what I mean by that is if you've got a fitness magic moment that is portrayed beautifully on, let's say, the training video, now is the perfect time to reflect that. So, for example, if on the training video there's this moment where everyone does this, I'm just making that up. In the release launch, it's perfect that everyone do that on stage. That's a united movement moment. But once you finish that launch, let that go. Let that whole thing go, because I can guarantee you that everyone else, all the other instructors on the timetable are going to be doing that, okay? And you want to come from this place of authenticity. But when you're first launching the release, no one really knows about that, and that magic can happen straight off the get-go with your team to give it even more impact. But just let it go and come up with something new and authentic. You also need to arrive early to the event. Come a good 15 minutes earlier. Now, your slot teacher should tell you, I think it's their responsibility to say, hey, we're going to meet in this room. I'll see you there 15 minutes early. I'm really excited. I can't wait. But if they don't, if you're a guest teacher and they're not nominating anything like that, tell them, just say, hey, where are we going to meet? Where are we going to meet? I'm going to come 15 minutes early because I've got a few things I want to talk to you about. So corner them into telling them where to meet and getting them to go there as well. Because when we arrive early, it gives us loads of risk management time. You get to talk about any of those little notepad situations and questions and queries. You can go through options and stage locations and stage allocations. You can talk about any issues that might have happened, like the mic is a bit crackly, or who's going to be doing the music. All of that is all taken care of. That's why we want to be there early. So it gives us loads of time to discuss all of that. The other thing that's really good about arriving early is that you will then know, because on launch day, it's kind of back-to-back team teaching events. That's what we do in our clubs here. And if that's for you, launch days normally run a little bit late, don't they? Because everyone's really chatty and there's so much going on and everyone's really excited. So if you know, and you'll know, if the class beforehand is running late, you have the opportunity now, you've got that little bit of time to be able to talk about how you're going to absorb that time, because without a doubt, no class should be running late. If you go in there and, they're running 10 minutes late, I can guarantee those instructors that have just done that class are going to say, oh, it was the class beforehand, they were running late. No way. It is your job, or our job as instructors, to finish that class on time. Full stop, end of story. That is our job. No matter how late we start, you have to absorb it as an instructor. That is crucial. The class beforehand who's running late, they've already racked off all of their participants they're teaching to, right? They've already done that. They've already affected all of you guys and your class participants. So when you get in there, whoever starts off and puts the mic on first wants to say this. Hey guys, welcome along. I know we're running a little bit late, but don't you worry, we're going to get out on time. Perfect. They're all going to go, yes, thank God. And then it's up to you to deliver that, by the way. But they're going to love you even before you even start teaching. They're going to know that you're conscious about time, like they're conscious about time, because time is a precious thing. So figure it out beforehand how you're going to do that. And that might be as simple as maybe whoever's ending the class saying, you know what, I'm just going to watch me in this track, because I'm going to cut things short so we can all get out on time. It's going to be a bit crazy. And the shadow instructor is going to go, yay, that's cool. I'm just here to support you. Right? Yes. Now, speaking about support, if the teacher gets it wrong, you get it wrong. The class gets it wrong as well. And that's fine. It's so okay. Don't worry about it at all. I remember once when I was teaching, it was a launch for a body pump class, and there were 3 of us teachers. And I was at the back shadowing with somebody else. The first move was like a super slow deadlift, I think, and the first thing they did was they got it wrong. They went straight into a 2-2 deadlift, and the other shadow instructor and I just look at each other and okay, here we go. But it's okay. It kept us on our toes, and it's fine because it can be a nervous situation and an intimidating situation, teaching with new instructors, maybe teachers that have been teaching for ages, or maybe they're even teacher trainers, okay? So just go with it. Go with it and it's all going to be fine because you just want to have fun. And if you're having fun on stage, guaranteed your participants are going to be having fun as well. So happy teaching, everybody. I hope you enjoy your next team teaching event. And I'm really curious to find out, what do you love the most about team teaching in your club? I just love the hype. I love the happy smiles. Hopefully I'll see you again soon in my next video. Take care. See you later.